Hey everyone, it's Emily Fox. Today's video is going to be possibly the last challenge of the month. I'm doing my 1 week, 1 shelf TBR edition videos. I will link down below the video where I reorganize all my bookshelf and kind of explain what's going on. But long story short, I organized my 7 bookcases with a TBR, a shelf basically at the top that contains the books that I've either forgotten about, I really want to read them, some of them I don't really want to read them, so maybe I'll do like a declutter kind of week, depending on how it goes. I was planning on doing 4, but I think I'm going to just extend the last one, depending on the shelf really, but I just have a feeling that trying to squeeze 2 will be too much. So I have the remaining shelves, the remaining papers, so I've already went through 2, and now we have 6 left because one of them is a bonus one. There you go. Okay, we made it through the description. I am nervous. I don't know what I want, what I don't want, but we'll figure it out. Did you see it? I feel like it did a little... I haven't seen it. Will I cry? Oh! Okay. Orange is the bonus one. I really didn't expect to pick that one up. I mean, you can't really tell. I wrote in yellow. Don't ask questions. I literally could not find a pen to save my life. But it says bonus, and orange is never in any challenge, so I feel like if you've been following, you know orange is not a thing. So it's a bonus one. So it means I can choose whatever I want. I really wasn't expecting it. What are we doing? Let's go look at the shelf and decide because I don't know. I don't know. Okay, so we're doing them in the wrong order. So this was shelf 7, which is nonfiction. Frankly, doing a whole week trying to read nonfiction sounds insane to me. So we're gonna not choose this one, but I do want to read these. This is my everything else section, plus classics, historical fiction, romance, everything. And I don't know if I want to read that right now. So we'll see. We did mystery, thriller, horror, so no thank you. Now we're into sci-fi. This is a section I was dreading, not because of these choices, but because I feel like I need to declutter, but I don't want to. This one, I do really want to read them, but I'm not that much in a sci-fi mood. And this one we have done. So it leaves us with this one. Do I want to do declutter? I feel like these 2 are the only 2 viable options. So either do decluttering, or I could, continue that shelf since I just spent a week doing it. Or do I choose my favorite? I feel like both would be really solid options. But you know what? I have been struggling all month, so I think we're going to choose the favorite shelf. I think that's the healthiest choice, but if you would like me to do a second edition of reading books you think I'm gonna hate, because like all of these are the ones that you guys told me I wasn't going to like. These ones I was hoping I would, but the other ones would probably be like I read them until they piss me off. That was the actual name. The unofficial, but like really the real name of that vlog. And it was fun. I got rid of 3 books, bashed them. A lot of you like when I like read them and live react because the quotes sometimes, like why is no one talking about how awful these quotes are? But I think we can keep that for the summer if you want to see it. And we're going to choose the healthy option. Try to find new favorites. The last thing I need to do is to start a new series, but I've heard of this and this is good. Obviously the Solo trilogy, but this has been on my shelf for so long. These ones scare me. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. Not only are they old, but they're chunky. So I think I'm gonna read the first chapter. I realized I was starting to do the whole vlog over there from my phone. Do you like vlogs like that? I feel like I always go back and forth between like doing vlogs like this or handheld. I feel like I watch people and they always put their phone somewhere, like on a tripod, and here I am with my phone in my hand. I feel like it's just more intimate. I feel like I'm FaceTiming with friends. Anyway, you tell me. I think this is gonna be the vibe this week. Maybe more week. Listen, tonight I am not going to be reading because I have to be watching Bridgerton, okay? But after that, I think I'm gonna be doing this. So we have the Old Men's War by John Scalzi. I thought this was going to be the first book I would read from him, but this has been on my shelf. I don't even know. I refuse to go back and find out how long I've been wanting to read this. I bought the whole trilogy because I buy most of my books used. I found it. I was like, perfect. And now I need to actually read it. So this is the first book in that trilogy. Premise-wise, if I remember correctly, does it say so? Yeah, 75. Okay, so in that world, I guess when they get into a war, they send the old people because, and the main character is 75. I have since read one book by the author. I thought more, but maybe just one, the Kaiju Preservation Society. And it was like a funny kind of book. And I realized after that, with hearing everyone else thoughts, that he tends to write books like that. And I really wasn't expecting that. And I feel like more sci-fi should be funny. I mean, I've read a ton of sci-fi and I love them. They're depressing. Definitely my job. I've read one too many post-apocalyptic books, but still, I'm curious. It might not even be funny, and I will eat my words in a second, but that's the first one. And then this one, this other series, this is a duology, to say nothing of the dog and Doomsday Book. And I believe this is the first one. And you can see I had read the first like couple pages because I've been in a slump literally all year. And I read so many like first couple pages, a couple books, and just put them down because I don't know what to read. So I think I probably should then continue with book one. I know you can start anywhere. I know it's time travel, and yeah, I have issues. So I think maybe I'm gonna start with this one. If I'm not feeling it, I'll go to this one and start from the beginning all over again. But if I like this one, I'll just keep going. We'll see. We'll see. I'm trying to like learn to relax because I've been realizing that I do a lot of like 1 week reading vlogs, and my life has been really hectic in the last couple of months, and I'm really struggling to balance reading in general. When I'm stressed, I don't read. I know a lot of people do that, like to escape. Me, I can't do it. And it's been really a struggle, but I feel like giving myself more than a week just makes more sense. How many books do you finish every week? Like consistently. I've been doing this for years. Anyway, this one is just 350 pages. So like I can do that. The other one is like 500. It's a chunky one. Anyway, that's my plan. Maybe I'll read both. Maybe I'll just read one, pick something else. We'll see. I feel like that shelf has a lot of books that I really, really want to read. And yeah, you know what? I'm realizing this is definitely the healthy choice. Because as fun as it would be to just bash a bunch of books, I think right now I need to just read books that I'm hoping that I'm going to love. So fingers crossed. Hopefully everything will go well. I'm actually happy that I picked the bonus one. I almost didn't put that in there because I never do that, but there you go. I have made some amazing progress in at least one of the books. We'll come back to that. I have still the adrenaline surging in my body. Because one thing you have to know is that I have been dealing with issues with my fire alarms for whatever reason. They kept starting all the time. They were not old. I feel like that's always the first comment. They're not old. But I switched batteries, still were beeping randomly. Like they would be fine, then an hour later would start beeping. I switched brand of battery, and for some reason that seemed to work for a while. Anyway, I cracked and I bought a new one and tested it, and it was doing it too. I swear, like I don't know what the hell is wrong with everything. So the one that I have now works. I have one that works, and now that it works, I'm gonna get more and replace the other ones because I'm paranoid at this point. But all of this to say that the cats are traumatized. They're scared of the fire alarms. They run away. And today was a really hot day, so I took an early shower. And while I was in the shower, I hear the beep, and I'm traumatized too, okay, at this point. So I panic, get out of the shower, water everywhere. I open the door, and there's no sound. And this is when I'm like, oh my God, Clawdia, because it has to be Clawdia. She loves freaking buttons. She's always starting the robot vacuum to annoy me. I guess she pressed on the test button. Because I didn't put it up because I wanted to do all of them at the same time, right? I'm tired at this point. So yeah, and I know it wasn't her too because I checked everywhere because, again, paranoid. And the two boys were doing just fine. Chunky was running around and Charlie was still sleeping. Like, no, give in. But Claudia was under his bed. So she clearly scared herself there and me. So very nice shower that I just had. But yeah, the update. That's why I wanted to take like early shower because, again, I was sweating, but also I really am enjoying this book and I want to have a lot of time for it. I finished part one, which that means nothing to you, but I finished part one. So I read like 120 whatever something pages. So cool. And I'm enjoying it. That's the important part. So I wasn't too far off with the description in the intro of this video because it's pretty self-explanatory. So there is this war in space, but people on Earth have no idea what's going on. Like they know that, you know, aliens, blah, blah, sure. But like they don't know any of the details because it's basically, I think it's a private company that is doing it. So like
everything is private. They're way more advanced technologically, so blah, blah, blah. So people can sign up for it, and they have to do it when they're 65, and they're allowed to finally be there at 75. And the main character did that because his wife died. He has, you know, no real reason to continue on Earth, and he's kind of curious. Plus, everyone kind of expects that they will give you like a rejuvenated body because you can't go to war at 75, right? So that's usually the hope, like exploring, learning more, and like new young body. That's usually why they go there. So where I'm at right now, he has made friend on the ship on his way to training. He doesn't know any details so far. But yeah, so far I'm enjoying it. The humor is definitely there. I wasn't sure at first. It seemed like it wasn't going to be, but yeah, it's definitely like dad humor, I guess, or grandpa humor. But it works. I don't feel like it's... That was one of my complaints with kaiju, is that eventually it got just a bit much because I felt like the characters were all similar. But no, so far it's going well, so much so that I don't know if I will want to pick the other book I have mentioned in the intro or pick book 2 after. I never read series back to back anymore. I grew up just doing that all the time, and maybe I should do that so I could actually finish it. But update number 2, I finished the book. I'm actually really proud of myself. This went really well. I had read like the first third in my first update, and I do have to say it became a little bit more military than I would like, but it is a military sci-fi, so like it is what it is. I knew what I was going into, but I still overall really enjoyed it. I got more and more into it. I have to say something controversial. It probably won't be for you watchers, but like in the world, if I say that on Goodreads, people are gonna come for me. But I feel like this is, for me, a better version of The Forever War by Joel Diamond, which I actually have somewhere here. Let's see. Can you see it somewhere? It's on there. Joe. Where's Joe? There it is. Okay. This super cool cover. Let's not even talk about the post-it situation here. But I kept it because the cover is really cool. I love these editions. They're just the classic sci-fi SF Masterworks. They're getting so hard to find, but I want to hoard them because they look really cool. Anyway, I read that a couple years ago, and I gave it 2 stars because I hated it. Fun concept, but similar concept a bit. But I hated it because I know people say like it was inspired by, I think it's the Vietnam War, it was written whatever, blah, blah, blah. I get it, but people were excusing some of the quotes, which actually, since it's here, I might as well quote it as much as possible, as much as YouTube will allow me. But my issue with it is that the main character, yes, is sexist, homophobic, blah, blah. And like, I understand that it's like because he goes to war in space. Obviously, if he comes back on Earth, time has passed differently, and he's like a lot more of a bigot, kinda. He hasn't evolved with the times, basically. But the thing is, I'm okay with that content. Like, I've definitely read books that are like that. But my issue is that I don't feel like it's being used to make any kind of social commentary. Like, it's just there. Specifically, there's one quote that I think is especially bad. Found it. Okay, so I'm gonna quote it as much as I can. So, yes, that night was amusing. That's how it starts. And then it goes to, then unleashed Stargate's 18 SEX starved men on our women. Compliant and promiscuous by military custom and law, but desiring nothing so much as sleep on solid ground. So you're telling me that in the army in the future, it's custom and law that these women that don't want it have SEX. So you mean grape? And like, that's just a sentence like this, and then it moves on. Don't tell me it's a social commentary. This is not a social commentary. This is just something I don't want to read. Anyway, this is just one example, but I feel like it's probably one of the worst the ones that like, you can't tell me anything that will change my opinion about that specific quote. Like, nothing. So yes, basically did not care for that one. But if we go back to the Old Man's War, I already explained what it was about, but it basically continues like the war. And the humor is still fine. I was invested fine in the story. I do feel like the ending was a little bit sickly sweet for me, but I feel like it ends. Like, you're following this character and it ends his story. So I don't know what book 2 is going to be about. And I kind of want to continue.
So I might have to actually, you know, respect that feeling and do it instead of, I had originally planned on reading this one, right? To Say Nothing of the Dog, which is like time travel, which I feel like I want to like them. I haven't read that many, but the ones I have read, I have enjoyed. So I grabbed the rest of the series. So book 2 is The Ghost Brigades, which I know what that means because I've read the book. But yeah, things are going well. Things are going well. I don't know if you've seen my own war wound. I decided to remove the weeds in my yard, and I was wearing gloves, so I didn't feel that, like, the, I don't know how you call it, the mini shovel to me. Why did I try to speak French there? Yeah, I gave myself a really bad blister, and it's been like 3 days, and I swear it still hurts so badly. Isn't it silly how, like, sharp pain like this hurts so much more than, like, deep pain? It was the same thing when I got jaw surgery. Obviously, it was not pleasant because you can't breathe, but it wasn't painful because your nerves are so numb you can't feel anything. But removing the stitches inside my mouth like a week after surgery, so much more painful. I feel this is how it feels right now. Like a paper cut hurts so bad. Anyway, on that note, oh, I'm hearing the cats actually, which reminds me, a lot of you told me in my last vlog to buy children locks for like the cupboards, and I got a couple, and I installed a couple. I got a box, but I installed 3, and so far Chunky seems frustrated that it's preventing him, and like now he's trying other cupboards, so I'm probably gonna have to install it on everything, but thanks, it seems to work. You have giant paws. Giant paw. Look at this. Look at this. All the claws too. Chunk. That's Chunky too. They all have these giant tums. Can you see? She has double nails. Double claws, I should say, on her tums. They're extra terrifying. You're not very fierce though. Look at this. She's not doing anything. Chunky? Chunky? Super quick update as I'm having my very healthy breakfast of matcha because anybody else tries to have food before caffeine but fails sometime. Today is a fail kind of day. We're having a thunderstorm, okay? It's my excuse. It woke me up. I am page 100 exactly in the Ghost Brigades. And I'm going to be honest, I'm struggling. I don't think it's as good as book 1. I'm really trying to like focus on the fact it's a new book. You are following someone new, which I knew after the ending of book 1. And I'm struggling because at first it's like something and then you start following the main character. So that took a while to start. And the main character is, without spoiling anything, I mentioned book 1, like people that are old age can possibly go into other bodies, blah, blah. But turns out that they also created people, I'm going to keep it vague, that people that passed away, like they used their DNA to create other bodies. And they're called the Ghost Brigades. So that's one of those people that you're following for things that I will not spoil. And the concept is fine. It's just that you're following a new person and you can tell that the author can't help himself and had to create someone that would also still be funny because he just likes these characters. And like, this is now my 3rd book by the author. It's clearly his thing. I don't resent it. It's just that 2 characters in the same series that feel very similar. Anyway. But yeah, so far it's kind of boring, but we're just starting. I mean, the character is literally 1 day old when I'm reading, so I get it. But yeah, it still hurts, by the way. I feel like such a baby complaining, but like, oh my gosh. Anyway, Claudia just started the vacuum. Can you hear that? That little... Look at her. Look at her. Guilty. She just wanted to play with the vacuum, the little brush. You're such a little hee-hole. Let me take this time to also tell you my opinion about season 3 of Bridgerton because I've been asked. So feel free to skip. I will not mind at all. But long story short, the first 4 episodes, right? The first 2 were better than the last 2. I'm just going to say it. I was wary of this season because I don't like Colin. Okay? I really don't care for him. I don't like his character. And I'm going to be honest, I don't like the actor either. Like, you know, some people, like, you can't stand their face.
Like, it sounds mean. Like, I've seen him interview. He seems a perfectly fine person, but like sometimes you just don't like someone's face. And I just don't like him. And the combo of not liking his character with that is giving me the ick so badly. I hate him. I was saying how he needed to beg to go with Penelope because she's so much better than him. And like, he treated her like crap. Like, people have forgotten already what he said about her at the end of season 2. Like, it's so silly. So yeah, I'm really, really, really not a fan. Those scenes together give me the so badly. I like that we got Kate and Anthony, like little scenes of them. They were great. I'm still sad that Daphne is not there. I like the romance of Francesca so far. She looks really pretty. I know some people were saying that she has like iPhone face. I don't think so. I think she's just wearing like full glam and like it suits her. Does it suit the time period? No, but none of it suits it. I'm not watching it for accuracy, so I really don't mind. What else is there? I feel like I'm forgetting things, but so far I'm just kind of disappointed. Oh, the love triangle with Penelope. I feel like they could have stretched that. I don't want to spoil anything, but they could have stretched that. Oh, there is one spoiler I want to mention. I'll put it in the comment section. Remind me if I forget. But I just feel like 2 spoilers. I feel like I'm not happy with the romance, basically. I can't stand Colin. I'm not happy with it. I am not even like excited for the second part. Why did he even put like 2 parts? Like, is to make us stay signed up with Netflix? I don't know. So far, I am not intrigued whatsoever. But Penelope looks great. I love the finally wearing cute colors on her. I didn't mind the yellow, unpopular opinion, but I didn't like what they were doing with her hair, and now they look really cute. Oh, I love her sisters. That's what I was forgetting. Their scenes are so funny, and they look gorgeous. I really like the way they've been doing their hair and makeup this season. So, yeah, I'm enjoying everything but Colin. So, unfortunately, because it's a big part of the story, it's kind of ruining the thing for me. But yeah, so far, disappointed. Super quick update, just to tell you, I finished the book, but it was hard. Okay, it was hard. I feel like the concept wasn't bad. I did feel like the characters all blend together. The way he writes them, like his main character, they're always like men that are like funny, but like, you know, dad humor and everything, which in theory, again, no issue with it. It's just they all blend together, and I felt the same way. I was mentioning so the book, the Kaiju Preservation Society. And in that specific one, there were like 4 other scientists, and they all just had the same sense of humor, like everyone, which like pleasant, but eventually you see the pattern after 3 books. And his endings are like, I don't want to say being positive is a bad thing, but like I don't feel like I expect it, and then it happens. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, again, did nothing wrong, but I didn't care enough about the story, and now I'm just wondering if I am going to continue or not. So if you've read the last book in this trilogy, let me know if it was worth it. I feel like I could have read just the first one as a standalone and be happy with it, which I feel like it's something that I have experienced a few times. Actually, I did a whole video on a topic. Remind me if I forget, but I'm going to try to put that in the description box, because I did a whole video about like series that should have been standalones or like a duology instead of trilogy, because it's something that I see often, and I don't know if it's publishers pushing authors to like stretch series or stretch a book into a series to make more money. I don't know, but I feel like sometimes they just don't need it, and I kind of felt like that with this one, even though it's in space. There are other planets, like you can explore that, but at least in this one, in theory, it sounded fine experience, but in actuality, I'm just feeling a bit meh about the whole thing. So yeah, no hard feelings, but I might round it down to 2. I don't know yet. It sounds harsh, but yeah, overall, still enjoyed this whole experience, the 1 week 1 shelf, with like specifically with TBR. So I did 3 this month instead of 4, but I think it gave me a bit more time to actually do every shelf. Let me know if you would like me to do another one. I'm gonna try to do another one this year. I feel like that would be fun. But month to month, I'll probably try to focus on these books, since they were the ones that I really wanted to make decisions. And in my last video, I made you decide if you wanted me to read another spicy book, which I don't read, or more books that you think I'm going to hate that are already on my shelf. So that one won, the latter. But if I have time, I'll try to do both, because it would still be funny. I agree. So yeah, that's where we're at for this challenge. Did well, finished 2 books.
two from the same series, which I'm probably giving up on. So I guess I finished a series if I want to go there. So yeah, better than nothing. But yeah, I'm happy. So as always, more videos on the screen, and I will see you in my wrap up next. Bye.